Today, I'd like to go over a pretty cool library for Python. It's not necessarily built into your IDE, into your PyCharm IDE, but you can definitely download it, and it does the same thing as as we did in the previous lesson using Jez, but it's a lot more powerful and more portable, and it's called the Python Image Library, or Pillow. And it's the newer version. So let's go over that and see how we can use that to modify and manipulate images in Python. So how do you start doing that? How do you create or download this library into Python? So over here in your projects, um, you have external libraries, right? That are pre-built into Python, and um, all these libraries, all these what all these libraries do, are they enable you to do various things with Python. You can call up their methods and import them into your project and call up their methods and do all types of really cool stuff, right? But um, they're not. Uh, some libraries are not already included. So some of the stuff we're gonna go over Pillow in this section, but we're gonna go over OpenCV in the next section, NumPy and Matplotlib. If some of you guys already have some experience or know what those are, so you already know what those are very powerful tools. So let's go ahead and try to import them into PyCharm. So to go here and create a new project, and we'll call this project, um, let's call it image, right? And in this project, we want to, just like we normally do, want to have an interpreter, but we want to make sure that uh, we can inherit global site packages, and we want to make available to all projects, right? And we want to create this project, and we want to open up in this window. And so this project is able to import uh, new libraries. So let's go over here and import the library going to the file section, going to settings, and then here we'll go down to the project image and go to project interpreter. So right now we're looking at all the libraries already set up. So we have the pip package already set up here, and we want to add in the Pillow library. So we'll go over here and add it plus to the plus sign, and we'll search under available packages, Pillow. And the only Pillow library you should try to download would be the one authored by Alex Clark. And the source of this repository of libraries, besides Pillow, all of these libraries, you can manage the repositories, and you get them from the Python Foundation's website. So that's fine. So we'll go ahead and go back to Pillow, and we'll import Pillow. So we'll install this package. And we've successfully installed Pillow into our project. So we'll go ahead and close this. And we'll see that Pillow is one of the packages that we have included inside of our libraries now. So click OK, and we'll go ahead and create a new project, or a new Python file, and we'll call it let's call it pill editor. And here we'll go ahead and import our import the things that we need to edit image libraries. But first, we also need to import stuff to modify directories on our computer. So first things first, we'll go ahead and say from pill import image, and that calls up all the tools we'll need. And to manage our directories, we'll import OS, which will help us manage directories. Just like in Jez, you're able to call up the directory. This time it's a little bit more complicated in the sense that we don't have the guardrails that Jez has. We're out in our operating system. So I'm using a Windows machine. If you're on a Mac, it'll be ever so slightly different, but I'm sure you guys are more than capable of figuring out how to differentiate between the two operating systems. So let's go ahead and try to manipulate some images. So first things first, we have to drop images into our file directory. It just makes it more simple to have the images in the same project folder, so you're not messing around trying to figure out where exactly in your directory the images you're trying to manipulate are. But you can definitely do that, and it's preferable if you're doing this operationally. But for simplicity's sake, we'll go ahead and use the same folder that your .py file is located. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in 3 pictures that are important to me. And a picture of myself in Busan, South Korea, a picture of SpaceX Falcon 9, and my mother and my son. All right, so I want to manipulate those pictures, right? But first things first, we'll go ahead and open the picture. So we can open the picture by creating an image variable, and we'll call it image1. We'll set it equal to capital I image dot open, and then we'll call up falcon9.jpg. Also notice that you can see these individual files in your project space, and so your interpreter and your IDE are aware they exist. So from here, we want to go ahead and definitely want to tell it, now that the image is open, we want to tell the program to open the image. So we'll use the image variable that we created and do image.show. It's sort of like the open method when you're trying to open a file. All right, sorry. So let's go ahead and run this program. And voila, it opens up the program, opens up the JPEG file that we have saved inside of our project space. So now that's basic, and say we want to do something more than just opening up the a file. Say we want to manipulate it. Say we actually want to create a new directory. Now, this is where import OS comes into play. What import OS does is it allows us to have methods to manipulate our file directories. So let's go ahead and close this out or erase this. Let's say we want to use to convert all those JPEGs, all those 3 JPEGs into .png files, which is just a different file format to view images. All right, so what we can do is create a for loop to copy all of those files and dump them into a different file, a different folder, and we'll call that folder PNGs. So we'll say for every file in, and this is where the OS library comes in. We'll say os.list directory. For every file in that folder, we want for it to copy over into a different folder. So we'll say if the file ends with, and ends with is not a part of the list directory, misspelled end. Ends with is a normal part of Python. It just says if a string ends with .jpeg in this case, the extension is .jpeg. So the file name is in this folder is falcon9 dot yeah, .jpeg, right? So we want every file name that ends with .jpeg to be stored in a variable, or at least the name, or the image as well. So we want to store it in a variable. Let's call it I for now. And you want the image to be opened up, right? And then we want the we'll create two new variables: the file name and the file extension. And we want another method is os path, and then we want to split it. And we'll save that. And just bear with me. You're going to save it under a new folder called PNGs. And we'll use the curly brackets to say whatever that file name might be, and save it as a PNG. And that will format using the new file name. So what we did here is we've created a variable file name, and we want to format that file name to be a .png and save it in PNGs in a new folder named PNGs. So I hope that made a little bit of sense. And the last thing we need to do is actually make this folder PNGs. So let's go ahead and create a new folder. PNGs, so it has the directory has something to point to. Now let's run the program. And you can see here it created a new folder, and inside that folder we have the PNG versions of all these pictures. I think that's pretty cool. And so we can do a lot more than just manipulate the actual directories and the extensions. We can actually manipulate the images themselves using Pillow. And so how we do that, we'll use the image import, and we'll also use a different import. We'll call it import image filter. So let's go ahead and create a new Python file inside of image, and we'll call it pill underscore man, and how we're going to do that is import not just image but image filter library. So let's go ahead and create a new file, a new Python file. We'll call it pill manipulation, and in that we'll say from pill we want to import image and image filter, and we'll go ahead and say we want to again store the image in a variable, and we'll use image open, and we'll go ahead and open up a picture of my mom and son, and we can with that image we can rotate that image by 90 degrees, and then save it as a let's say mom and Omar mod.jpg, and then we'll make another variable image2, and we want to open the new image, and then we want to show it. Alright, so let's go ahead and run this program. And as you can see, it opened up a picture of my mother and my son playing with her hair, but 90 degrees off. So now let's say we want to convert an image into a black and white. So let's go ahead and erase this and say we want to convert the Busan beach image into a black and white image. So we'll go ahead and type image1 dot convert mode is equal to L, and you're not going to memorize all these modes. They're in the the library description on the Python Foundation's website. So you can learn everything I'm telling you using the Python Foundation website's documentation. But just show you a couple of tricks. So we'll again save this as a we'll say Busan Beach mod.jpg, and then we'll say we want to open this as well. Create a new variable. And then open. or sorry, not open, .show. And so we'll go ahead and run this as well. And that picture got turned into black and white. Originally, it is, well, sorry, that's the PNG version, but here it's color. So that's a pretty cool manipulation. And then the last thing I'll show you guys is how to do a filter like you would do on Instagram or Facebook. We can do that using this image filter program, or not program, library that's built into the pill library. And so let's go ahead and erase all of this. Or at least just erase up to that. And from here, we'll again invoke image1, and then we're going to use the filter method, and inside of that argument we're going to call image filter. And as you can see, we're using the image filter library, and we're going to use something called Gaussian blur. So, and Gaussian blur is do exactly that, just blur out the image. So we'll call up, we'll say radius is equal to 3. And with that, we want to save that new blurred out image as Busan Beach blur. That JPEG. And then we also want to say image 1 we want to show, and then we also want to show, we'll again create a image 2 variable, and we'll open the Busan Beach blur JPEG file, and then we want to image 2 show that as well. And let's run this file. And then, as you can see, this is the original on the left, and this is the modded one. It looks like you're looking through some foggy goggles, or it might be how I look actually. So anyway, this was a long one. Just wanted to be very thorough and give you guys some tools that you can use as we're getting towards the end of the semester and moving forward in your travels. They want to just focus on what Jez has to offer. Want to focus on what the wider Python library has to offer. And I'm a big fan of PyCharm, and I'm a big fan of JetBrains in general. I like their IDEs. I like the flexibility of their IDEs, and particularly for Java and for Python. So this is what you can do with this IDE, and you do so much more. And I hope you got something out of this.